I mean, damn. Just to put this out there, this is a pre-production camera. So the outside is final. Firmware could be updated or improved before it reaches the public. So I just want to say that. I'm not paid or sponsored. Goes right back to Canon after this video. Essentially, this is an R6V and a C50 combined. And this is the best of both worlds. And we've been waiting for a camera like this because Canon has always been a little bit apprehensive about merging their cinema line with their, the photographer's line. Now, we've kind of seen it with other cameras out there, the R5 II, the R1, but we really saw it with the R6V, in my opinion. 7K raw open gate. First time we're seeing open gate in a Canon camera. And at the same time, you're getting a lot of those great features. The R6V is the new benchmark for Canon for that budget-friendly, hybrid, do-it-all camera system. And having the kind of video specs that the R6V had and the C50 had, it kind of made sense that Canon did this, but at the same time, they made it very user-friendly and very approachable price point-wise and also features-wise for most content creators out there. People like myself that are doing YouTube videos. You might want to do some photography as well at an event, wedding, whatever have you. This camera is going to be right up your alley. The C50 is going to be more for the professional cinematographer that needs the more robust video recording aspects in terms of no overheating whatsoever. You can do a record where you can record in your 7K raw, but at the same time record in vertical, which you can't do on this, but you can do some sort of, backup proxy and still 4K, so it's not too bad. But didn't have IBIS. Didn't have a lot of the features that we wanted in a camera like that. The photography aspect, that's all now included in here. And just how much thought process that Canon's put into this that really addresses some of the concerns that other camera manufacturers aren't putting into their cameras out there. And at the same time, giving Canon users what they want out of a system designed like this. So let's talk about what it's like to use. The body design on this is absolutely fantastic. The grip is great. I mean, Canon makes great grips on their cameras anyway. It feels so good. The buttons, the dials, the switches, the power zoom switch right here where the record button is, the on and off switch here, the switch to go from video to photo. Everything is as it should be. It feels absolutely fantastic in the hand. Plus, you have this screw mount here so you can actually go vertical if you want to do that to record some vertical content. So again, you have open gate in this anyway, so you may not even need it, but if you want to do that, you can in 4K, whatever have you. The display on the back of this is really nice. However, it's only 1.62 million dots. It's a 3-inch display, but you don't notice that it's 1.62 million dots. I mean, the images look great, but yeah, it'd have been nice to be over 2 million dots, but it is what it is. It's not a deal breaker in my opinion. There is full-size HDMI inside of this with all the ports that you want, which is great to have in a camera like this. You have fans around this, so that's going to really help you for your recording. 4K 60 with fans on, you pretty much can record unlimited. 7K open gate, raw, you probably can go for an hour easily on this one, even more so, depending on your situations. The fans you can set them on different speeds, and they're relatively quiet for what they are. If you want to access your different color profiles, C-Log 2, C-Log 3, or just set it to whatever color profile you want, you now have a dedicated button here on the top. There's a ton of function buttons here that they have at your disposal, and plus the dial on the back here, you can actually press to the sides to activate different functions as well. You now can use the dial for the most part. And by the way, the card slots are on the side here, CF Express Type B and UHS 2 card slots. So that gives you the option to sort of do some sort of proxy backup recording. However, let's say you're doing 7K open gate, right? And you want to have some proxy, it'll do like a 4K proxy MP4 inside the SD card. Also, you have frame markers or aspect ratio markers that you can assign. So you can have 2 of them at the same time. I have 9:16, 16:9, but you can change it to whatever aspect ratio you want. There are a ton of options inside of this. Pre-capture for video, pre-capture for photo. A lot of the attributes of the R6V are inside of this. And it just makes it so easy to use and effortless, and you don't have to think about it. Because one of the things I loved about this camera system, I just turned it on, got my settings dialed in, and just started recording and taking photos. And it just did a phenomenal job with it. Canon's thought about a lot with this camera system to make it so content creators like myself, like you, event photographers, wedding photographers, videographers, this will be a camera, if you're in the Canon system, you're going to really enjoy using because everything is there. Yeah, it doesn't have a mechanical shutter, but you're still getting that very fast readout on this 32.5 megapixel full frame sensor, up to 40 frames per second with pre-capture. Now, if you want to use flash, it's 1/60 is going to be your limit on that one. So just keep that in mind. And I was at this festival over the weekend. There was people walking and drumming, and I was testing it out, and I had no issues with rolling shutter. Again, Canon says it's not a semi-stacked sensor or a stacked sensor, but whatever they're doing in terms of the readout, they're doing a really good job. Same with the R6 III. It continues over here with the R6V. All right, so I'm going to go handheld real quick here and just test the IBIS. Now, there's no digital IS when you're using open gate, so I'll switch over to 4K, whatever have you, so that way you guys can see the digital IS in terms of this. Some of the limitations on pre-capture video. If you want to do pre-capture video on this, something I recognized here is that you can't set your subject detection after the fact. So not too sure if this is something that they'll fix in future firmware updates, but you can only set your subject detection prior to pre-capture video, which can do 3 seconds or 5 seconds, which is actually pretty good. I'm looking at the display now. I've got it on full brightness, by the way, just to kind of let you guys know what it's like to use in bright daylight. And I've got my sunglasses on here because it's very, very bright here in Singapore. As you can tell, it's extremely bright. And I can see the display no problem. Now, I am shooting in log, so it's a little bit washed out. I didn't put a LUT inside of this. But yeah, even though it's 1.62 million dots, I don't know the exact nits brightness on this display, but it's pretty good. So I think Canon's done a really good job on this one. Sometimes reading specs on paper is one thing, but actually using a camera is another. And don't let that number sway you. It's a very, very good display. And tracking, all that on point, even in log. Here's another test here with subject tracking image stabilization. Now, I believe it does crop in a little bit more here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm doing 4K 25 on this one. He'll keep that in mind. So where the subject's at in the center of the frame, whatever have you, and it stabilizes accordingly. Now we'll try it with digital IS without subject tracking because you can't have both turned on at the same time. All right, so this is enhanced digital IS. So we'll just kind of look at here and let me just kind of do a little bit of a run here, see how this looks as I'm running. And here is IBIS without any sort of enhancements to see how this looks. Image stabilization is not too bad, I have to say overall, considering that I'm running with the camera and I'm not doing any sort of ninja walk. I think it's pretty okay considering. Well, I gotta say, even using it like this, it's not that heavy, guys. I mean, with this 24 to 50, you're about a kilo thereabouts because the camera's around 600 plus grams, the lens is around 420. So yeah, it's not that bad considering. And I think you're gonna enjoy this little kit for what it has to offer. All right, now let's talk about this new power zoom lens, the 20 to 50 f4 power zoom with image stabilization inside of this. Now it's an internal zoom as well, come around 420 grams. And the great thing about this is just this. Here's 20. And here we're going to 50 right now. And I'm controlling it with this little Bluetooth control right here, which actually connects to this tripod. So you can actually mount the R6V onto this if you want to do that. But this is really nice. The fact that I can control this, and as a content creator, just to be able to sort of frame myself if I want to go out here like this, bring it in. And of course, we have the power zoom switch on the camera as well. And this is an internal zoom. So this lens is going to be, I mean, it's not going to be inexpensive, but it's going to be decently priced for what it is, because I don't think we've seen anything on the market like this. Now, there is a kit that comes with the R6V with this lens. I had the Singapore pricing, which is around $4,900 Singapore dollars, thereabouts. So I'm guessing that's going to be around 4,000, a little bit under 4,000 USD. You'll know the pricing at the time of this launch. But yeah, this is a really nice lens. And I think for a lot of content creators out there who want a power zoom lens, a really good solid zoom kit. Well, I don't want to say kit lens because it's not a kit lens. This is a very capable lens, but it definitely does the job and is something unique in the marketplace. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to the 24-105 f2.8 power zoom lens. Let's talk about uncompressed RAW on this. 2.6 gigabytes per second. It's a massive file. There is raw light, which comes around 1.3 gigabytes per second, about 1.227 something thereabouts, but it's very close to that. So about half the size. Now, I've been filming this entire video primarily in raw uncompressed, and I will tell you, you will definitely need a very powerful machine to handle these files. If you're thinking you're going to run this on a MacBook Neo or a MacBook Air or something similar, you're going to be using proxies. good luck to you. This is pretty much a Mac Studio, M4 Max, M5 Max, MacBook Pro kind of files to the machine scenario, right? You're going to need that kind of juice. But as you've been seeing throughout this entire video, all the A-roll I've shot here is pretty much uncompressed until now I'm shooting in raw light. It's beautiful. It's stunning. Even this in raw light looks really, really good. So yeah, I mean, there's a trade-off for it, but just take note that if you want to try to save on your PC or your Mac and get into something like this and shoot raw, think twice on that one. Also, I want to talk about the preamps in this camera system for a minute for audio, because audio is very important. Some cameras have better preamps than others. This is probably one of the best cameras I've used thus far when it comes to preamps and audio quality. I mean, I'm recording in 32-bit float. I've got the Holy Land Lark Max 2, whatever it's called. And the audio is fantastic. But even then, I've had to turn the internal mic settings down, on the mic down. I mean, this is a hot mic. It's very sensitive, but the audio quality is absolutely fantastic. With that, let's talk about some things I wish were improved. I wish there was some anamorphic support, even though this is sort of like a hybrid camera system and Canon doesn't make any sort of, or doesn't allow any sort of third-party vendors to make, let's say, autofocus anamorphic or things like that. Got to use PL mount, but I wish it was there. Maybe they'll have that in a future firmware update. Hopefully Canon does open up the system to allow more lenses, because this body, this design, man, if they opened up this system, the gates would, I mean, people would flood into this thing. It's absolutely awesome. I wish there was a shield that would cover the sensor when you turn it off. Now, it's like that on the R6V because it's a mechanical shutter inside of that. There's no mechanical shutter in this camera system. So yeah, you just got to be a bit careful when you're changing lenses outside, especially like where I'm at. You just want to make sure that you're going to be okay. But I wish they had that there. Outside of that, guys, I mean, there's really not much to complain about this camera system. I think what Canon has done here is what a lot of us have been wanting for a very long time. A solid hybrid for the majority of us out there. They've kept their cinema line separate from the photography line. Once in a while, they try to blend them in, but it was kind of a hit or miss. You know, the C50 is a very popular camera, but I think for a lot of people out there that are missing IBIS in the C50, missing the photography attributes that are in the R6V in the C50, this camera is going to be for you. And man, I am excited to hear what you guys think about this, because I am a big, big fan. I wish there was an EVF, or at least some sort of something that you could slide into the multifunction hot shoe. But I mean, you know, maybe they'll have that in the future. Who knows? But this camera is absolutely awesome, and the image quality, the performance. I mean, this is a true cinema hybrid camera. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on the R6V. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you like this video, like, subscribe. Thank you for the support, and I'll chat to you all very, very soon. Bye.